the first emperor who united China. The rise and dark legacy of Qin Shi Huang. When people think of China today, they often imagine enormous cities, ancient traditions, the Great Wall, and one of the oldest civilizations in the world. But until the 3rd century BCE, there was no single country covering the lands we now know as China. Instead, there were rival kingdoms, each with its own laws, currency, measurement systems, and even different forms of writing. The man who united this divided world under a single empire was a young king who had taken the throne at only 13 years old. His name was Ying Zheng, but history would not remember him by that name. It would remember him by the far more powerful title he gave himself: Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. Qin Shi Huang was not only the ruler who unified China, he completely transformed the way the state was governed. He ordered the construction of enormous roads, standardized the writing system, connected early sections of the Great Wall, and attempted to continue ruling even after death. But behind the system he created were wars, heavy taxation, forced labor, the destruction of books, and brutal punishments. So was Qin Shi Huang truly a great founder of a nation, or was he a cruel ruler who changed the lives of millions through fear and violence? To answer that question, we must travel back to a time when the lands of China were divided among powerful states and consumed by endless conflict. From around the 5th century BCE, China entered a long and violent era known as the Warring States period. The Zhou dynasty still officially existed, but the real power of the Zhou kings had almost completely disappeared. Powerful kingdoms had emerged across the land. The most important among them were Qin, Chu, Qi, Yan, Han, Zhao, and Wei. Each of these states had its own army, royal court, laws, and ruler. They constantly formed alliances, betrayed one another, and went to war to gain territory. Warfare was no longer limited to small battles fought by nobles. Armies containing hundreds of thousands of soldiers were raised, iron weapons were used, and cities were attacked with large siege machines. Among these kingdoms, Qin was located in the far west. At first, the other states viewed Qin as a backward and uncivilized frontier kingdom. But over time, Qin's rulers introduced harsh, yet highly effective reforms. One of the most important figures in Qin's rise was a statesman named Yang. During the 4th century BCE, Yang transformed the Qin state through a series of major reforms. The privileges of the old aristocratic families were reduced. A person's position in society was no longer determined only by family background, but also by service to the state. Soldiers who performed well in battle were rewarded, while those who failed in their duties were severely punished. Agriculture was encouraged, land records were reorganized, and the population was brought under the direct control of the government. This system was based on a philosophy known as legalism. According to legalism, human beings were not naturally good. Society could only remain orderly under a powerful ruler. Clear laws, generous rewards, and severe punishments. By adopting these ideas, Qin became an extremely disciplined military state. It was this powerful kingdom that Ying Zheng inherited. Ying Zheng was born in 259 BCE. His father was Prince Zhuangxiang, who later became king of Qin. Many rumors surrounded the identity of Ying Zheng's father and his mother's relationships within the royal court. Some ancient Chinese sources even claimed that his real father may have been Lu Buwei, a wealthy merchant and powerful statesman. However, historians still do not know whether this claim was true. In 246 BCE, Yingzheng became king of Qin at only 13 years old. Because he was still a child, much of the government was controlled by court officials and advisors. The most powerful figure during this period was Lu Bue, but as the young king grew older, he gradually began taking control of the state. The royal court was filled with conspiracies, secret relationships, and attempted rebellion. A man named Lao Ai, who was said to have had a relationship with Ying Zheng's mother, gained influence and launched an uprising against the king. The rebellion failed. Lao Ai was captured and brutally punished. Those connected to him were executed or exiled. Lu Bue also lost his power and was forced away from the capital. After these events, Yingzheng was no longer merely a king in name. He had become the true ruler of Qin, and he had one goal: to destroy every rival kingdom. That's all for today. Stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for better videos. Goodbye.